Hey everybody, Shasta here, and today I'm gonna be doing a little bit different build video. I'm not gonna be making a ship. Instead, I'm gonna be doing a bunker base build. I was planning to do a castle first, but then I decided why shouldn't I try to build a bunker which might be useful on official servers for you guys for PvP, and also to see what I'm able to come up with. I didn't plan the build in advance. Everything was done basically on the spot, so expect some correction during the build and also changes here and there. Overall, I decided to go with a simple layout, and in this video you will only see how I speed built the first floor. I'm planning to do the rest of the floors, and I think I'm gonna make it at least 3 floors high, but that might change. Something that I noticed while making this building is that compared to Ark, Atlas has even worse compatibility between the buildings and arranging stuff and placing a lot of stuff. I mean, it's really hard, really tough, and you have to be very well organized and to have experience building with, let's say, with different types of ceilings and floors, as you'll see in the video later. When placing triangle and square foundations and ceilings next to each other, sometimes you might not be able to place walls on the proper positions, even if you press the Alt button or the button you have chosen for switching the position and switching the type of thing you're gonna put. For example, as you'll see later on, in one situation I was not able to put a wall, but I was able to put a wall with a window in it, which was kind of strange. And I don't know what's the logical explanation behind that, but yeah, if you're wondering why in some places I've placed strange walls or strange floors and ceiling, that's so I can properly fit the damn thing and so I can close it off and so it's more safe and secure. At the beginning, I was planning to make an entry gate here at the beginning, but then I decided to opt out and make it as an open space area with a couple of cannons for defensive purposes because it looks towards the sea, and I'm presuming someone else might try to make this build again looking at the sea and having an open area. So having a few free cannons, large cannons, is something good as a defensive purpose. All the other edges of this bunker are made with mainly triangle floors and ceilings so that we can put a lot of NPCs with swivel guns and so that they have a wide hit range and they can defend it from all sides. I was experimenting with, as you can see currently, square floors and trying to expand it more, but I opted out against it until I make the first floor completely finished, and maybe later on if I try to build a second bunker I'm gonna try to make it different. I was exploring here if I can build a gate, since it was still the beginning of the video and I still wanted to place a gate, and then I realized I'm overburdened. I cannot get the proper resources even in my private server, so I had to transfer a lot of stuff and it became a hassle, and I just plainly gave up on making the gate. And then I just decided that I'm gonna put the cannons. Basically, that's how I decided I want to put the cannons. Not so much strategically, but more because I was bored and I didn't want to make a hassle of removing all of the stuff. An advice I would give you is to watch this whole video, take a couple of notes down on how I build it as the structure design. So if you want to build it perfectly without wasting any resources and any structural components, then yeah, watch the whole video in advance and then start building it. I think I used more than 300, I think around 300 floors and as many. Now, it should be less ceilings, but around, let's say that I definitely used 200 walls, 200 floors, and 200 ceilings for making only the first floor of this bunker base, which the main part of the bunker base, the large area that I started with was a 6x6. And if I consider all of the other, the side defensive towers, if you want to call them, or sections, which will have the NPCs with the swivel guns, then it can probably go up to 50 total floors per floor. No, that didn't sound right. 50 total floors per level? Per level. So expect to need a lot of resources and a lot of building materials to make this. It's not a small base, and I'm positive that it's usable on official servers, and it's gonna be usable to an extent on PvP servers. How useful it is, you guys will have to tell me later on, because I currently have no way of actually building it on the official servers and testing it, but I would appreciate it if someone builds it and gives me some feedback down below on what they think and how it handled enemy, I guess, enemy raids. Even though I'm building this for official and for it to be PvP capable, remember guys that I'm making all of these builds for fun and for enjoying the game, so do not be too negative or critical about the build. I mean, yes, it's not tested, but what I'm asking is to keep the criticism to be constructive and not to be overly rude about it. I mean, I'm having fun. I'm sharing my fun with you guys. So yeah, enjoy it. If you don't like it, just don't watch the video. Easy as that. Nothing more to say about it. Anyways, back on track. So, how many sections did I make for swivel cannons? 2 at the front, 2 at the back, and 2 on the side. So you have 16, 6, not 16, why did I say 16? 6, okay, so see here, sorry, I interrupted my, train of thought, but here I cannot place a normal wall on the top, but I can place, as you will see in a bit, just a tiny bit, I can place a wall with a door window, which is very strange. I don't get these mechanics. I don't understand them. And something strange just sounded around me. Okay, so I don't understand why that's like that. I hope that Atlas developers fix it, because it's strange and it shouldn't be normal. I mean, you shouldn't be able to put a wall with a window and not able to put a normal wall in the same situation. Okay, so where was I with my previous explanation? Oh yeah, so you have 6 sections for NPCs with swivel guns, which technically should be able to handle and cover 360 degrees of the whole bunker on the first level, and any enemies that come from land. I'm planning to make some open spaces and rooftops which have defensive capabilities on the second floor, but as I mentioned, let me finish with the first floor, see how it goes, get some feedback from you guys, and hopefully I'm gonna make an awesome second floor and keep making this bunker. Maybe this bunker will end up into being an offensive skyscraper, who knows. I don't know what's the build limit as in height wise on the game. If someone can tell me, I would appreciate that, although probably I can change it on private servers. But I would want to know how tall build, how big the buildings can be on the normal official servers. Anyways, okay, so here I'm having the same problem with the walls as I had previously. So this problem occurs when you have a square foundation next to a triangle one, which has a very tight angle between them. The same applies also for a square and a triangle ceiling with a very tight angle. You cannot put, apparently, normal walls. You have to put walls with a window frame, which is strange, and I hope that it's fixed sometimes in the future. I'm also planning to make some secret parts of the base, or more like having, let's say, different spawn points, just in case when you get raided, so you can spawn and defend from different sections. Although it's not that big of a base, and would probably not have a very big need for many spawn points on a single level. Let's say that I'm gonna put 3 spawn points on the first level, as in 3 different locations with a couple of stacked beds on them, and expand those on the top also, since it's still mainly a 6x6. So in a 6x6, when I start putting more foundation, now you will see that the space is quite small eventually, but there is space on the bottom, which the way I planned it is for the bottom to have some storages, and mainly to have a defensive purpose, and then have your crafting stations on the second and third floor with more storages, more and more stuff. Maybe I would make an access with a ramp to a second or a third floor where you can also keep animals. That's a possibility. I was also thinking of maybe making the animals keeping. Okay, so keeping. Sometimes I forget the words I want to say. Keeping the animals on the first floor. Although you cannot actually keep very large animals, as you can see, it's not very big and it's not very tall. So giraffes are out of the questions. And the same applies for elephants, I guess. But the smaller animals, wolves, lions, tigers, bears, I think you can safely put them as long as I make a design which fits a gateway somewhere in this bunker, which is most likely gonna need the second floor at minimum. And as you can see, it's starting to take a nice shape. I didn't plan a shape at the beginning when I was starting. I was just like basically yo-ing it and trying to make it accessible from all points. No, not accessible from all points, but to have at least 2 or 3 entry points for anyone who's friendly, and to have, as I mentioned earlier, a 360 degrees of coverage so that NPCs can defend even if you're sleeping or you don't have anyone online at the moment. Although I have to be honest, from what I've seen, the best way to defend a base is to always have someone online. Even if you have tons of NPCs, at some point you're gonna need someone who's a proper human being to defend your base, because NPCs don't always make the correct decisions. Trust me on that. I've lost too many bases on official and too many ships. But despite that, I still keep playing on official and I still keep enjoying the game both on private and official servers, although I hope that they fix all of the goddamn bugs that there are so that official servers become more enjoyable and they can get a hold of all the glitching and hacker abuse that's been happening in the last few days, which I haven't been keeping such a big track on, but I know that there's still a big issue with hackers and people glitching different aspects of the game and ruining the experience for everyone, which sucks, especially on the PvP servers where you can get all of your hard work labor destroyed in a matter of minutes or hours or seconds because someone exploited a part of the game which the developers didn't properly fix, or yeah. And we all know that developers for survival games rarely compensate by rolling back because of a glitch that they didn't fix on time. Yeah, that sucks, but welcome to Atlas, welcome to Ark, welcome to all of the survival games which are in early access and are not properly optimized and finished yet. Full of glitches, full of walls you cannot put, but you can put them when they have a window frame, and many other stuff. So, okay, we have 5 actually of our NPC control points or defensive points done. We're working on the 5th one, which I was kind of confused how I did the 5th one, and okay, so I meant to say we're working on the 6th one, and I was confused how I did the 5th one, so I tried to do a couple of versions until I just saw the first one and copied it over. Something I didn't realize until I started making this the back part of the building is that since I expanded with 2 foundations here, the ones down there have 1 foundation, but they start with 1 wall and then have a half wall. Here, as you can see later in the video, we actually have a wall and a half rather than 2 walls of height, which was amazing when I found it out. It's not something special, but it was so awesome when I realized it that I was like, what the crap is going on? And yeah. For some people it might not sound amazing, but I found it amazing, so I decided to share it with you guys. So if you don't find it amazing, then screw you. I found it amazing that I can fit the floor with a wall and a half. Even though it was amazing, it caused an issue when I tried to build the stairs between the 1st and the 2nd floor. I was planning to use the round square stairs, but because it was a wall and a half of height, I couldn't fit 2 sets of stairs, so I decided just to use normal stairs, which were made from changing the roofs to stairs. And also here, as you can see, I was trying to make the aesthetics look nicer, which I realized was kind of hard. So I removed these ceilings, and yeah, I think I would have been able to also do this with the Alt button and the E button, but in order to make it faster, and because I was getting annoyed, I just destroyed the ceilings and placed the goddamn walls and then put the ceilings back on, which is not the best advice I would give for anyone. It's rather to be more thorough and careful and to check all the possible options before you start destroying parts of your building. And at this point, when I'm gonna place now the door, I realized that I have only one entry point and I need to make two more because, I mean, which idiot makes a base with one only door for an entrance? Excluding Shadow Strider, who actually was an idiot when he made it, but he realized his mistake and he was like, okay, so I have only one entrance, so why don't I make a second one? Because having one entrance, especially for PvP, is not a good idea. And yeah, it took a while for me to realize that while building, but nonetheless, I realized it. Better late than never, and better to have 3 doors and 3 entrances than one, especially when you're getting assaulted, even if the chance is a small one. Although you can always go out through the roof or through one of your upper floors, but then again you cannot go in safely, which yeah. Oh, another thing, while we're on the topic of being defensive and having PvP capabilities, I didn't make this base to be with a lot of inner walls, at least for the current design. So technically, if someone can shoot with large cannons or mortars, he can very easily destroy and gain entry to the base, although I presume that he will need to deal with the NPCs, also with the mortars, so it's gonna take a bit of time, but have that in mind that this bunker is actually only with one set of walls and floors, and if someone manages to get a mortar down or some cannons, he can get in very easily, most likely. I haven't tested the base, as I said, so I would appreciate it if some feedback from people who play on PvP servers can give me. That would benefit for making future... Oops, sorry, I hit the microphone. That would benefit me for when I design future bases and make future build guides and kind of make them PvP mastercrafts, I guess. That sounds so strange, PvP mastercraft. Okay, so we're almost done with the build here. Now I'm gonna show you why when I had a wall and a half of height, I wasn't able to, as you can see, put the staircases. I tried to make a solution to this by removing this little stair here, although it still didn't, it worked, but it wasn't to my liking, so I decided to remove them and just go for the good old roofs change into stairs. Again, I had to use one full set of stairs. Okay, why did I place that there? One full set of stairs and then a half stair, because after all we have a wall and a half of height. And overall, this is the current design of the bunker for its first floor. I'm gonna keep updating it and make a couple more videos about it. But overall, this is how the first floor looks. Thanks for watching, guys, I guess. Please be sure to keep tabs on my channel for the next floor. And if you want to see the full design, which I haven't fully decided yet, but again, thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to like the video if you enjoyed it and found it useful. Drop me a comment down below if you want me to try to build something else, if you want to see something more specific built or something for me to experiment building. Be sure to also check my other game guides, walkthroughs, tutorials, reviews, and music that I make on my channel, as well as the links in the description to my Twitch and my social medias. Finally, of course, if you like the content I make, then subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon in order to get notifications. Shadow Strider out.